I have been using the Pixel 7a for 4 months now, up to the publication of this video, and I have to say it is a really nice device. It does have a lot going for it in terms of cameras, which take great photos and videos. Secondly, it has nice features which also appear on the Pro series. And thirdly, it has stock Android, meaning there is very little bloatware on the device. However, there are a few dislikes I have with the Pixel 7a, so let's go inside and find out. This device comes in a maximum storage capacity of 128 gigabytes, of which around 14 gigabytes is made up of the system storage. And when you deduct that from the internal storage capacity, you are left with around 114 gigabytes to play with, which is certainly not enough, especially when you're shooting videos at 4K resolution. And on that basis, Google should offer this in a 256 gigabyte model. Now follow me here. The other option for Google is to add the 14 gigabytes of system storage onto the 128 gigabytes of internal storage, thus making a total storage capacity of 142 gigabytes. And then when you deduct that 14 gigabytes of system storage from the 142 gigabytes, you will be left with 128 gigabytes to play with, rather than the current 114 gigabytes. One thing that I do not like about this device is the button configuration, where you have the volume rocker at the bottom and the on-off power button at the top. Because if you look, the convention on 99% of other Android devices is the power button is at the bottom, which you will tend to use more, and the volume rocker is at the top. And just to corroborate what I'm saying, here's another Android device. So you can see here the on-off power buttons at the bottom and the volume rocker is at the top, which is standard. But I have no idea why Google have decided to be different. So it would be nice if they could stick to convention and follow the lead of the other 99% of Android devices. This device comes with a locked folder where you can store photos and videos. However, the locked folder stops short of allowing you to store documents, because this feature is available on other mid-range smartphones. The other issue I have with this device is that it does overheat, usually anywhere around here, and that is when one is filming for any period of time. It can be anything from maybe 15 minutes to maybe up to 1 hour. Now, I have no issues with the actual overheating, but what I do take issue with is that it does cause the device to freeze, and then nothing will happen, and you'll have to pretty much shut it down and then restart it again. And also, it makes it unreliable for filming, because at any point you'll get a message on the screen telling you that the device is too hot. So I'm not sure if there's an issue with the Tensor processor. And just as a heads up, this can happen whether the weather is hot. So today it's about 70 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And it can happen on another day when it's probably 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely that is an issue with me with this device overheating, because as I mentioned, it makes it unreliable to use the great cameras that it has on it. And just to prove this is not an isolated issue with the Pixel 7a, because I experienced the same overheating issues with the Google Pixel 6 Pro and the Google Pixel 6a. For my next point, I want you to take note of the fact that the Google Pixel 7a on the left has a wider outer display than the iPhone SE 2020 edition on the right hand side, which has a narrower outer display. And just to prove that this is not an optical illusion, I have put the devices on top of each other, and you can clearly see that the iPhone is narrower than the Google Pixel 7a. If you go into your YouTube Studio app like I've done here, you will see that the same information is showing on both devices. So on the right I have the Apple iPhone SE 2020 edition, and on the left I have the Google Pixel 7a. So let's take a closer look at the Google Pixel 6a review. So we can see it has 6,300 views, it's been running for 10 months. And when we look at the like count, we can see on the iPhone, it is showing as 183 likes. However, on the wider display on the Pixel 7a, the like count figure does not even appear at all. And what I have also noticed is that that like count will only appear for any figure that is less than 10. The moment it goes into double digits, never mind the triple digits, 183 we're talking about, the moment it goes to say 10, it does not show that figure at all, which is most peculiar, because on the narrower display on the iPhone, the figure shows clearly. And if we can extend that further, if we look at the comments, so on the right we can see that I've had 23 comments, but on the Pixel 7a the comments figure is not showing at all. Just to rubber stamp my last point, if we take a look at the top video, we can see that the like count on the iPhone on the right is shown as 14. However, on the Pixel 7a, the like count does not appear, proving that it will only register figures from 0 to 9. Also, if you look at the descriptions of each video, you will see that you get more on the much more narrow display on the iPhone than on the larger Pixel 7a. Those were my dislikes of the Google Pixel 7a, which I hasten to add are not necessarily deal breakers, but certainly give you some food for thought. And who knows, maybe Google will address some of them in the Google Pixel 8a.